So this is just to test our accuracy, and I want you to do it at the end of every week. Okay, just so then if you do it at the end of the month, you're gonna have to be backtracking so much to find that one discrepancy, and it could happen in the very beginning, it could happen at the very end. So I think that doing the trial balance every week will, at least you know that you're doing it correct every single week. Okay, and you can find your discrepancy immediately as soon as you know that your trial balance is not balancing. So what the trial balance is, it's going to be a list of all of your accounts, and you're going to list them all by debits and credits. Now, this I will explain how to fill it out later when we finish up our journals. Okay? So yesterday, we finished up the 5th of June. So today we're going to be working on the rest of the journals. So I gave you guys, you guys should be continuing on page 1. I believe there's enough room for one more transaction. And then we will dive straight into page 2 of our general journal. Okay? So let's go ahead and look at our scenario and see what happened on June 6th. Okay, so here you applied for a business credit card. Do you need to record this transaction?
No.
No. Why?
We haven't received the money.
Nothing happened?
Nothing happened. No transaction. There's no dollar in there involved. No real transaction has been involved. Okay, all you did was just apply for a business credit card.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so the main bank approves your line of credit for $9,000. Okay, to be applied as an overdraft protection and what do you call that? Personal loans. Okay, and the interest is going to be for every $1,000 that you go over your account, they will charge you a rate of 22%. That's very common, especially with credit cards or with a bank. So 22% is going to be applied based on any unpaid balances, okay? So if you go over your bank overdraft, okay, this is very common. So for example, like Bank of America, they usually charge you a fee, right? But this time, what we applied for is a line of credit. What this line of credit is, it's not a credit card, but in case that we've gone over, because we are doing business, in case we go over, the bank is going to protect us up to $9,000. As in, if we go over our bank account, the bank will pay for you in advance for the $9,000. You have only up to $9,000 to pay. And then because of that, they're going to charge you interest to try to pay it back. Now, most cases, like you try to pay, they'll give you like a 24-hour period. Oh, if you overdraft today, right? And if you pay it back or put the money back into the bank, usually they will not charge you, okay? They will only charge you the day after, okay? And they will charge you every single day. So every day that it's late, it will charge you that. And what happens is a lot of banks oftentimes is they charge you a fee on top of collecting interest on top of you. So that's why it's very good that you keep track of your checking ledger, because your checking ledger is going to tell you how much money you have and how much you are spending at all times. Okay? So make sure you're aware of that. Okay, so then also, okay, so just with that, do you think we need to journalize this transaction?
No.
Why?
Nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
Nothing occurred yet.
Well, no, it got approved, but the scenario is if you've gone over your account. Okay. When does the bank actually bill you this information?
Probably a month
Right
later.
on your statement?
Yes, at the end of the month, they calculate to tell you how much money you have done and they bill you saying this is how much interest I'm charging you. So there is no transaction involved in here. However, this is good information because in case we do overdraft within some of the days, they're going to bill you. Okay, so good. All right. So the accountants create. Okay, so now the next one is going to be the accountant created a new ledger account called loss on disposal of asset. Okay, and what this is going to be is you're going to name it as 6700, and you're gonna move the $2,000 from your miscellaneous suspense, and you're gonna move it into that new account. Okay, so
Okay.
so for this one, we're going to journalize it like this. Okay, so we're going to recognize the date. So June 6th. Okay, we created a new account. So we're going to be debiting this account. Okay, so if we understand the systems of how we created this new account on the ledger, we understand that it's part of the 60,000s. All right. And if you actually recognize, let's go look at our chart of accounts. Let's go look at our chart of accounts. When we're looking at a chart of accounts, we can see that the sequence of these numbers are in order, correct? So all my assets are going to be in the 10,000s, okay? All my liabilities are going to be my 20,000s. My equity is going to be my 30,000s. And then if I keep growing down, I'm going to notice that this new account that I've created is an expense account. As you can see, if we go to operating expenses, all of them start with 60. So we know that this account that we've created is going to be a expense. And we already recognize that it's going to be, we're going to move when we had our sale of the furniture, right? We just placed it in a random account because we didn't know what to do with it. Now that we finally created and determined that, okay, well, it's a loss on our part and it's only going to happen for this month. So it's going to be considered an expense. So now we're going to take that and we're going to transfer it out. So let's go ahead and let's double check that again, that we have that account because I said that all the accounts have been already pre-created. So, so this was loss on sale of asset. And here, loss on sale or disposal of asset right here. 6,700. Okay. And we know that miscellaneous suspense is going to be an asset because we didn't know what to do with it. And it is for 1990. Okay. So now we're going to go back to our journal and we're going to transfer from one account to another. Okay. So we're going to, because we know that the new account that we created is a loss on disposal of asset. And then we know that what the account that we're taking out of is going to be miscellaneous suspense. Oopsies, I spelled it again. Here's suspense. Okay. And then here, I'm going to indicate that that was 6,700, where my miscellaneous is 19990. Okay. And I know that I'm trying to transfer my entire $2,000 out of the account. Okay. All right. And then for our description, we're just going to say transfer to a new account. Oh no, transfer to a new account.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now that we've almost reached the end of our journal, technically you might be able to squeeze another transaction here. But for our safety purposes, every time we do this, what we're going to do is we're going to draw a line through the empty cells here. Okay. And how we do that. Okay. So we're going to go to, I'm going to draw a line. And I'm going to create it right through the empty cells here. Okay, this is for, just in case, this is for like anytime that you have, like, you might have a possibility of having someone to come in and they might squeeze a transaction in there. And by me drawing a line through it, it allows me to not have them do that because, you know, I'm in charge of my books. However, I don't want anyone to look at my books and just throw a new transaction in there. I don't know if that makes any sense, okay? So we do that for our measures so then no one tries to write anything else in there, okay? So now that we finished our journal, where do we go?
Ledger.
Correct. We're going to be going to the ledger. So over here, we understand that loss of an asset. We found out that it is going to be an expense account. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my expenses. And I'm going to find where my loss on disposal of asset is. Okay, so I've already found mine.
You found it?
Okay, hold on. Let me help you guys out.
Good.
Let me go ahead and help you guys out. So yours is going to be on page. Where's my scroll bar? So yours is going to be on page. I think it's at the very bottom.
Office expense.
Okay, so yours is going to be. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I just had it. Labor. So loss is going to be on page 36.
Oh, 36, okay.
Oh, I was no near. We're near it.
Okay, so it's going to be in the middle of page 36.
Okay. Loss,
Loss
Loss
on
on disposal
disposal.
of assets.
That's
Okay.
correct.
okay.
And I walked
Okay.
right past it. I was looking for it.
Okay. So here we know that if we look at our journal, okay, we know that we're still on page 1, and we're going to transfer. We're going to debit our account on loss of disposal of asset for $2,000. So here I'm going to write the date, which is 6/6. Okay. And we, for items, you can just go ahead and say, there's actually nothing here we need to really indicate.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause it
Post,
says loss on disposals of assets.
yes.
Yeah.
And then
Uh,
post reference is going to be general journal number 1.
G.
Okay. And we know that it's a debit for $2,000. Okay. and therefore my balance is going to be $2,000. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and highlight this and change it to comma. Okay, good. Now we need to go to our assets and we need to update our miscellaneous suspense.
Okay.
And that should be page 16 for you guys.
Okay. Miscellaneous suspense, all right.
Okay, so we're going to indicate here 6, 6. All right, and then now this one, I'm going to go ahead and say transfer to new account. Okay.
Can you scroll down a little bit so I can see the heading? Yeah, right there. Perfect. Thank you.
So general journal number 1. Okay. And this time, did we debit or did we credit this account?
Credit.
We credited the account. So now it should be minus 2,000. And when we do that, same thing. This formula is going to be, all right, you're going to equal this for Excel. You're going to equal this. You're going to go to your previous amount, which is up 1, which is your 2,000. You're going to add whatever, any debits that you've accumulated, and you're going to subtract any credits that you have accumulated. And you should get 0 in your balance. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull and drag this because we will be using miscellaneous suspense in our future accounts. So this is just calculating the formula over and over. So you don't have to calculate it. All you do is enter in all the information here and it should automatically recalculate it for you. Okay? Now, I do want to warn you though, if you don't do this all in one day, I really highly recommend you to enter the formula again and again and again, because sometimes Excel will not update, and every time you enter in something new, if you go past the formula that you've already created, you may have to, refresh the Excel's memory so that it keeps good track of your stuff. Okay?
Okay.
So now that we finished this, the next question is, do we need to did we involve anything with whether we had a customer or a vendor? Did we involve anybody?
No?
No, this was internal.
No, this was internal. So therefore, you do not need to do anything with your subsidiary ledger. You just finish up that transaction. So here we completed our transaction here. So let's go ahead and see what happened next. So now that we finished our first page, we can go ahead and start on our second page. Okay, so everything now is general journal number 2. So let's see what the next one asks us to do. Okay, so the next thing that we did was we had a purchase order. Yes, number 17-030-01. Okay, so 301. I'm just gonna do 301. Okay, and it's to the furniture store. And here we ordered 1 desk set, and it's going to cost us $562, and in total $562. So, what can we do? We need to record this.
Yes, we purchased it.
We only made the purchase order.
Oh, this is an order that we're doing. All right.
So do we need to record this in our general journal?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, this is us just sending.
No,
not until we actually purchase it.
Yeah, not until we actually receive the
I've already
items,
purchased it.
and we're asking to purchase it.
Right.
This is a purchase order. And then we haven't received a bill, nor did we receive the items that we asked for. Okay. So,
No.
however, just for good safety measures, we still need to record the purchase order on our purchase orders list.
Okay.
So go ahead and pull that out. Our purchase orders list. Okay. So Lee, the purchase order list is going to be in the same file as the general journal. It's going to be at the bottom tab here, purchase orders. Okay, so here, yes, for good safety measures, we need to keep track of everything we order, because if we just keep ordering a whole bunch of things and we don't keep track of whether we received it or not, you know, that's not very good business practice. Okay, now again, this is not technically your responsibility for this. It's going to be whoever is in charge of inventory. But for the sake of this entire class, we're going to be wearing every single hat, accounting hat, except for tax. Okay? So we're going to be the inventory manager. We're going to be the sales manager. We're going to be the general ledger, the accounts payable. We're going to be all those hats. Okay?
I don't get paid enough.
So here we're on our purchase orders tab. We're gonna fill in that we ordered this on the 6th. Oops, I put 3. 6th of June. Okay. And who's the vendor? We ordered this from the furniture store. And what was the items? We ordered a desk set. Okay, so we can order from multiple vendors, maybe even the same vendor, right? And if you don't keep track of exactly what you ordered, you know, sometimes you're gonna be like, hey, hold up, wait a minute, there's something going on. Okay, so here the estimated balance is going to be $562. Okay, that's just the estimated invoice. Okay. Okay, and then again, they can charge you shipping, they can charge you tax, they can charge you, expedited fees, they can charge you, foreign fees, out-of-state fees. There's a lot of things there's a lot of other factors. This is just giving us a quote. And when they ship us the bill, that's where they start including all of the things to get the items to the store. Okay?
Okay.
So
Okay.
here, we're done with our purchase order, and we can go back to our journal for the next transaction. Okay? Okay? So on June 6th, again, it's a Thursday on June 6th.
Another purchase order.
Another purchase order. Another purchase order to the same place, furniture store. Except this time we're gonna buy a counter, and then we're gonna also buy display shelves. So I guess we submitted an order and we're like, oh shoot, we have another one. I forgot to record, or we need this and this and this. So let's go ahead and record that in our purchase orders.
6 June.
Mhm.
Does this have to go in separate orders, or can this all be on one order?
It's all going to be on one order.
Okay.
So, for example, that's what I'm saying. Like, I forgot to buy other stuff. So that's why I'm sending another invoice saying, okay, well, I need this and this. So this is one purchase order. And this purchase order is for the counter and shelves. So I'm just going to go ahead and as long as I know what it is, that's all. I don't really care to be into detail what it is. Okay? As long as I give like a brief description, okay, I bought this and that. Okay, so you don't need to be super specific. Okay, and it's going to give me a total cost of $15.43. Wow, 1543. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Oh, it's the same company, okay.
Mm-hmm. And it's the same company.
Okay.
All right. Now the next thing that we're going to be looking at is, let's go back to our journal. Okay. So the next thing that we're going to be looking at is electricity is connected. A $100 deposit is required. Okay. It's payable to Nevada Utilities. Okay. So, do we need to record this?
Interesting. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
because we made a payment.
We made a
They
payment.
They connected it for us.
Exactly. So yes, we made a payment.
Mhm.
So on June 6th, right? Here I've already displayed what you needed to do because it's a deposit. So again, so oftentimes when you go rent a place out, right, they usually tell you, hey, give me a deposit in case you fault one way or maybe something happened to the water. We'll take it out of that money. Okay, so here you're required $100 deposit for turning on electricity.
Okay.
Okay, so electricity, so we're gonna say deposit. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and let's go ahead and take a look into our chart of accounts to find out what deposits is. What account is deposits?
Oh,
Alright.
it would go,
1800,
18
700.
700 is our account.
okay, so we wouldn't put it under, electricity?
What
Because it's a deposit for the electricity, not the actual usage just yet.
yes.
Okay.
Because what how does NV Utilities bill you for electricity?
I don't know.
They bill you, oh, well, they have to see what your usage is.
Exactly. This is
Yeah,
just
so this is just a deposit, right?
this is just to
gotcha.
open it up, yeah.
Okay. Because I wrote out the whole thing. Okay, so this is just a deposit.
Correct. So in this one, I'm just going to go ahead and indicate that my vendor is going to be NV Utilities, comma, and I also have to write a check, okay? But I don't know what check number yet, so I have to wait to see how much I need to write this check for. And I know it is for $100.
It's ready for $100.
Mm-hmm. So let's go to our check register and let's write that check. So on 6/6, we wrote a check for $100, and it is going to be for NV Utilities. Okay,
And the utilities.
and it's for 1504. So we're going to indicate here. Oopsies. Whoa, what did I do? So my check number is going to be 1504.
Oh, wait a minute, I'm missing something here. Oh, no, I'm not. Okay. Oh, wait, are we in the we're on the check register?
Not yet. We had to write the check out. Oh yeah. We already wrote the check.
Oh, we did write the
Yeah,
check.
we wrote.
Yeah, we already wrote the check.
Now we go back to the general journal for description.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, yeah, I have it done, but for some reason it didn't look the same. So, yeah, okay, so now we go back to the general journal.
Okay, make sure you fill out the rest of your description. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so we're doing the general journal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have the, electric connection, $100. Now we got checking. Checking. Yes. $100.
Okay. Now that we've done that, we're finished our journal. Where do we go next?
To the,
The ledger.
general ledger.
Yes, to the ledger. So we need to go ahead and place the information into their correct spots. So deposit should be on page 15 for you guys.
15, okay.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to indicate that on the 6th of June, I'm going to write,
Don't you have recorded on checking? On the general ledger?
David, we're going in order of exactly how we journalize it into the journal. I recorded my deposit first, and then I'm going to record my checking second. I want to make sure that I keep myself in check and that I don't skip around, because if I skip around, I may forget an account.
Okay.
And you will see this when we enter into sales, because we sell a lot of stuff.
I'm sorry, did you say that was, page 15?
It should be page 15.
16?
No, 16 is miscellaneous expense.
Oh, it should be suspense.
No, we're going to deposits.
Yeah, top of 16.
Top of 16?
What's 16?
Okay.
Oh, I see it, okay. I had this stapled and it was covering the top. Okay. Let me do that real quick. Electricity deposit.
Oopsies, I keep spelling deposit wrong.
Oh, my pen just went out. Ah, come on. I got another pencil around here somewhere. Okay, I got it. Okay. All right, electricity deposit.
Okay.
Deposit. It's up on the 6th, June, for $100.
Mm-hmm.
100. Okay.
So we know right now, since we started off with 1,500 from our rent deposit, and we added another $100, so we should have a total of 1,600
Oh, okay.
in my deposits. Then I'm going to scroll up all the way to my checking, and I'm going to enter in that I wrote a check for my electricity. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and indicate check number 1504, and my reference is general journal number 2, and I wrote a check, so it's gone. So I now have how much in my checking?
Where are we? Just a minute. We're still in our general ledger, right?
Yes,
Okay. But we're on checking.
correct.
Looks like it's already been calculated. 10,541.16.
my goodness, this is terrible. Okay, checking. Check number 104. Number 15. 100. Okay, that's cool.
All right, so is everyone caught up now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now that we've done that, we need to go to our, it says there to post to our subsidiary ledger. Okay, so it's a vendor to us because we're gonna go see our vendor and we wrote him a check here for NV Utilities right here. Okay.
I just have a question for you, ma'am.
Yes.
Just looking through this, we did that furniture store. Shouldn't we have made gone here and made indentation here?
Why?
Because we bought something, or oh no, we made an order. It hasn't come in yet.
Yeah, we had. Yes, there you go. Answer yourself to the question. One, we may have made a purchase order, but we can cancel at any time. Second, we didn't receive a bill from them. So you remember we only record once we receive the items or we receive the bill.
Yes.
Okay. There's no invoice for this. Post reference is going to be general journal number 2. There is no due date because we haven't received a bill from them yet. It's not considered a prepaid in account, but the invoice that they charged us for was for $100. And we also made a payment here. Oopsies. Payment is for $100. Okay. So again, the formula is going to be your invoice amount, subtract any prepaid, subtract any returns, subtract any discounts, and lastly, subtract any payments. So right now we are at 0 because we do not owe anything to NV Utilities.
Okay.
Okay? So let's go see what happens next in our let's go see what happens next in our transactions. Okay? So now that we've recorded that, we posted to our subsidiary ledger. Okay? Now it says telephone services is connected. Okay? Installation fee will be included with the first month's bill. Do we need to record this?
We haven't received the bill.
Yes, we have not received a bill. So, yes. Good. No, we don't need to record it because all we know is the telephone line is working, so they're going to start charging us as of today.
Right.
Okay. Natural gas is connected. $100 deposit is required, payable to NV Utilities. Okay. So there oftentimes what I've noticed is there are a difference between gas and water and your electricity bill. Sometimes you may pay them separately. Sometimes you may pay them together. Sometimes you pay them every month or every other month. It just depends. Same thing. You have to pay for the trash. You have to pay for HOA. every single thing that you pay for, it could be for the same company, but you have to cut a separate check for each one. Okay? So for example, this NV Utilities, because they put natural gas and water up, we need to they're going to charge us a separate bill for it. So here we're going to create another deposit because they said they need a deposit, right? Just in case something happens to the natural gas. We don't know. Okay, so they required a deposit. So another again, we're going to go ahead and debit another deposits, and we're going to write another check, and it's going to be check number 1505. Okay, so we're going to go to our journal, and we're going to journalize this transaction.
Rinse that out again. Alright,
Okay, so we have deposits for 18,700 because it's going to look identical to the one from above. So 18,700, and we're writing a check out, and it's going to be for the same amount of $100. Okay. Now that we've done that, what do we need to indicate now? Where do we need to go after our journal? Oh wait, we got to write our check.
You're jumping ahead, aren't you?
What do you mean jumping
You go
ahead?
Natural gas first?
Mm,
Don't you have to record it in natural gas
why?
first? Well, because the other one, NV Energy, didn't we have to go to NV Energy and record it?
We didn't go to NV Energy.
Okay, I thought we had one more step before we do the ledger, write the check.
We have to write the check. Good. Okay. So we're gonna write the check for June 6th. Okay, for $100, and then we're going to go to NV Utilities again. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So now that we know that it was the check number was 1505. If you haven't written it in yet, you have to go back to your journal and finish up your description. But I already wrote it in my scenario, so I figured, I can save some time there. So now, where do we go from here?
To the ledger.
To the ledger. Okay, so we're gonna go back down to deposits first because that's what we wrote first. So for you guys, it's the top of page 16. Okay, so 6. Okay, and this time I'm gonna write natural gas deposit. And it's going to be for general journal number 2, general journal number 2, and it's for another $100. So therefore, my total balance in my deposit should be $1,700. Okay. All right. Okay.
Could you hold just 1 second on
Yep.
that page? This one. I got a little lost, and so I caught up, and now I'm on this, on the deposits. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Then we're gonna go up to checking, and we're going to update our checking. So 6-6. Okay, I'm only gonna write check number 1505, and this was general journal number 2. And we knew that we wrote a check, so it's going to decrease our checking by 100. So what is my new balance in my checking account?
10,541.16.
10,441, because we added another $100. Or I mean, we subtracted another $100.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. Is everyone caught up?
Yes.
Okay.
I am.
Okay. So then where do we need to go after this?
Subsidiary ledger.
Subsidiary ledger, yes. We need to update Mr. NV Utilities over here to let him know that we paid a deposit. Okay. This is also good. This is also good measures that you have this, because when you do this, you can prove that you did do a deposit. Because I don't know, I've heard stories before where some renting policies will be like, "You never gave me a deposit." I'll be like, "Yes, I did. I wrote you a check." Right? So you want to make sure that this is also for your records as well.
Okay.
Okay, except this is going to be check number 1505, general journal number 2. And let's see what happened here. Our bill was for $100, and we paid for $100. So therefore, I didn't even do the formula in here.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, good. So now that we've posted to the subsidiary ledger, now we can return to our scenario. So let's go ahead and see what happened here. Okay.
We need another purchase order inquiry.
Oh, I guess so. We did make another purchase order, but this time we bought a commercial coffee brewer and a commercial coffee grinder. Ooh, but this time they gave us a total amount and they gave us an invoice amount, and it's telling us that we are supposed to pay 1/3 of the price. So in this case here, we're going to journalize it for a prepaid account, because this one we're giving money in advance, okay? So this is a prepayment. So because this is us making a purchase order, and we're paying in advance a portion of the money just to secure it. So this is it. I would have said this was a deposit, but really it's not because you're paying in advance for the bill that you owe. So in this case, I'm going to record that I'm going to pay $1,140.22. Okay? So let's go ahead and journalize that. So first, I want to recognize that I have a purchase order. Okay, that should be number 1. Okay, so the first thing is I sent out a purchase order on June 6th. And it is to who? Haley Bros. Hallie Bros. However you say that.
Haley.
And it's for a brewer / grinder. Okay. And how much are they telling us it's going to cost you? $3,515.95
Yeah.
is going to be our estimated invoice amount. All right. And then I'm going to go to my general journal. And now I'm going to recognize this. I'm going to recognize that here I am going to pay 1/3 down payment. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and indicate it here on June 6th. Okay. And it's going to be for prepaid accounts. And we wrote a check. And so we wrote a check. Okay. So I need to go into my check register. And I need to indicate which number I am. So I am 1506 on 6-6. And it's going to be for 114022. Okay? And that check is sent out to Hallie Bros, whatever it's called. Hallie Bros. Okay? So then I'm going to go back to my journal and I'm going to indicate right here that
what was it? Total amount was for Haley Bros was $3,515.
that's
Right.
their total amount of invoice that they want to do, but that's how much that my PO is going to, that's my estimated amount. I still haven't calculated whatever extra charges and fees that they have.
Okay.
And this time I'm going to indicate a little more description just so that I can know why I made this payment. So I'm going to go ahead and do PO number 170301 1/3 down payment, down pay, check number 1506. Okay, so here I'm indicating that I paid 1/3 of the down payment to Haley Bros for my purchase order of 17301, and it's going to be check number 1506. Okay, so what is my prepaid account number?
Oh. 18600.
18600 is correct. Okay, 18600. So here I'm going to calculate here 18600, and my checking is 10100. Okay, and I wrote the check for 114022. 114022. Bless you.
Thank you.
Okay. So here I completed my transaction. Okay. I completed my transaction.
Just to
Boom.
double check, you are recording this, right?
Yes.
Okay, because I definitely have to go back, because I got lost for a minute and you were finished before I was able to get back to it. So that's fine.
Okay. Okay. So now that we finished our journal, where do we need to go?
Oh, Charlie, general ledger.
Yes. To the ledger, okay? So I wrote my prepaid account first, so I'm going to go to that one first.
Okay,
And I believe that one should be on page 15 for you guys.
15, okay. Yeah, prepaid, it's right here, okay.
Prepaid accounts. Okay, so here I'm going to indicate the date. And for my item, I'm going to go ahead and say 1/3 down payment. Or actually, I'll just do PMT on PO 170301. Okay? And I'm going to indicate, yeah,
1703.
Okay. G2.
okay. All right. GJ2 is correct. GJ2. I'm going to fix my window real quick. Okay. I don't like how that looks. Okay, GJ2. And and how much was it for? 1140.22. So therefore, this should be what? What is my new balance in my account?
7794.39.
7794.39 is correct. Okay. Now we gotta scroll up because we wrote a check and we need to update our checking. So our checking is going to be for 6/6, and we're gonna go for check number. What was it? 1506.
Yes.
1506, and this was general journal number 2. And we wrote a check for 1140.22. And now my new balance should be 9,394. We're losing lots of money now.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna have to take the checkbook away from this person.
Okay.
That's the last thing right here, right?
Mm,
Oh,
where,
no.
where do we need to go next?
We need to
didn't we do
indicate.
maybe?
Did we what?
Indicate in the brewer, in the grinder, don't we? Or the items?
Why?
Because for inventory purposes.
Those are not inventory. Those are fixed assets. Now my question is to you, did we receive those items at all?
Yes, you went and purchased them.
We made a purchase order. We ordered them.
I figured you did receive them because you wrote a check.
But we only paid for 1/3 of it. The total amount was 3,515. we only paid a third of the price. We just want to make sure that that when we put a down payment, right? It's like saying, oh, if you give me a down payment, I'll ensure that I'll give you the rest of the service at later on. We're buying $3,000 of equipment. Is anyone just gonna let you just give you the $3,000 by itself?
As long as you're paying for it.
Right, but you can't guarantee that. So how we ensure that, yes, I will make a payment on it, I will give you a third of the price. Okay? So we just put a down payment. It's like if you were to buy a car, right? A car's a fixed asset.
Yes.
Is someone going to let you walk away not paying a penny for a $35,000 car?
I
No,
don't
you have to
think
put
so.
a down payment down.
You need to put a down payment. This is the same exact concept. Right?
Okay.
Okay.
We put down payment, walk out with the car. Put down payment on that. Don't we walk out with the grinder?
Well, in this case, we ordered it. We're ordering it. If we went out to the store and bought it, we would have already had our asset. But in this case, we are ordering it.
Okay.
So, yes.
So now we can blame FedEx.
or whoever the shipping person is going to be. Okay, so yes, for this case, we put a down payment, and we are waiting upon receiving our items. So what do we need? So okay, so that is why we don't need to fill out the information for the coffee brewer or for the coffee grinder yet, because we haven't even received the item yet.
So
So
we're done for that day, right?
No, we're gonna go to subsidiary ledger and it's gonna be put under Haley Bros.
correct. Okay, so let's go to the subsidiary ledger and let's go find Mr. Haley.
Top of page 6.
Okay, so here I'm going to go ahead and indicate the date. Okay, and then in this one, I'm going to go ahead and indicate a check number here, 1506, I believe it was.
Yes.
1506. Okay, invoice number, I'm going to go ahead and just put PO for now. Okay, PO, PO 170301, right? Because the reason why I'm going to do it for this time, I'm going to indicate it this, is because we actually made a down payment, correct? So hold on, let me indicate in my in my notes here that I created. Whoa, I am on the okay. So I'm gonna put DP. Okay, for down payment 1/3. Okay, check number, right? And my post reference is going to be my general journal number 2. And was there a due date? No. Was there a prepaid amount? Technically, yes, there is, but I want to say that in my perspective, it should have been $11.40 because that's the amount that I paid for, right? I want to indicate this. Now, what you can do is you can wait till the bill comes in and be able to indicate that, hey, my bill was for the $3,515. I've already prepaid you the $1,040, and I already wrote you a check for it. But in this case, I just want to keep it as, what is it? Easy for you to recognize and easy to understand what the transaction is at hand. So in this case, this is why I wrote that my invoices number is going to be the PO, right? And how much was that invoice amount for? It's going to be for the prepaid amount, which is 11440.22, which in this case I did pay. Okay.
Yes.
At least this way it keeps track, and I don't have to write so much information into the into one box when I receive my bill. Okay. So in this case, I validated that. Boom, boom, boom. I did this and did that. Okay. And again, how this works is going to be your invoice amount, subtract any prepaid amounts, subtract any returns, subtract any discounts, and also subtract your payment. So in this case, I don't owe Haley anything because they owe me. Okay? I wrote them a check. All right, let me see if we're good on time. So right now it is 3 o'clock. We'll just start. Let me see. Is that for this? Let's see if that's the last transaction for the 6th. I believe so. Yes. Okay. So we'll stop.
I have one question for that before we move on.
Okay.
Don't we still owe them two more payments? You said 0. And they broke it up into 3 payments. Don't we still owe them 2 more payments?
We haven't
No,
received. We
no.
haven't received the bill yet, David. This is a down payment. So you
Okay.
owe. So you're gonna owe less than what the invoice is going to send you for.
David,
Okay. Yeah.
you're not going there in person. You're calling me on the telephone saying you want to order these things, right?
Yes.
I don't know you from Adam. I'm gonna say, well, okay, I want a prepayment in case you cancel, right? I haven't lost a lot of money because I can take my restocking fee out of your prepayment. This just
Okay.
means so no, you don't owe me 2 more payments. You owe me the total amount later on. You just pay
Yes.
a prepayment now.
Okay.
Okay. You know, you're not making. This is not terms of pay. This is not terms of payment. I just want an advance payment to show your goodwill that you're going to follow through with this order.
Okay. So basically, we just did a goodwill offer.
Yes.
This
Well,
is
well,
this is
it's-
this is
it's
to
a good-
ensure that the customer is going to actually purchase something from you, and so they don't take a loss out of it.
Okay.
Because if they back out because you're trying to buy $3,000 worth of items from this person.
Yes.
On their perspective, that's a lot of money. And if you
Uh-huh.
and let's say we do send you the items and you end up not paying, then that's a $3,000 write-off I have to take off because that person decided not to pay. At least with this down payment, I can ensure and guarantee that at least if this person does not pay me afterwards, I don't have to write off a big loss because they paid me at least $1,000 out of the 3,000. At least I can, be okay with it versus losing a whole $3,000. Basically, I ship them out the product and they end up not paying for it. Then that's gonna hurt my business because I just shipped out $3,000 worth of equipment, and that my customer didn't even pay me back. So this is just an insurance, okay? So because we're doing this and we haven't received a bill yet, we don't even know if the total cost is going to be $3,000. It could be more than that because we haven't. This is just an estimated amount. We haven't seen if they charged us tax for it. We haven't seen if they charge shipping for it. We haven't seen any other things that are included yet. So we don't even know if this 1/3 of a payment is really covering 1/3 of the actual cost. Okay? And
Okay.
we can't pay anymore because we haven't received the bill yet. How do we know we have 2 more payments left?
Because they broke it up.
No, they
it's not a
didn't.
term pa-
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
not-
I'm understanding.
This is not.
No,
This is
I'm-
not a term. This is not a term of payments. This is what they want in advance of the shipping. It's not a term of
Okay.
payments, right? No, this is what I want in
Okay.
advance before I ship